You're thinking about making Aliyah. That's great. The Jewish Agency of Israel and the Israel Center in South Africa are here to support you every step of the way. Just remember, Aliyah is a process, an exciting and emotional process, but also time-consuming and challenging. After all, for most people, Aliyah means adapting to a new country with a new language and different ways of doing things. In other words, it's important to be realistic. So to help you make informed decisions, let's talk tachlis about making Aliyah. Step 1. Do the research. We cannot emphasize it enough. While Israel welcomes those eligible according to the law of return with open arms, it is up to you to make your Aliyah a success. That means be proactive, be responsive, ask questions, do the research, and take ownership of the process from start to finish. If possible, it's a really good idea to take a pilot trip to Israel and see the country for yourself. This will give you a sense of the people, culture, and opportunities available to you. You should also talk to people who have already made Aliyah to get their insight. Join OLEM groups online, listen to talks and webinars, explore job market opportunities, check out the property market, and generally get as much info as you can so that you're fully prepared for what's to come. And most importantly, learn Hebrew. For details on eligibility, benefits, required documentation, and lots of other important Aliyah info, please visit the following websites. You can also contact our Aliyah and OFEC Israeli representatives in Johannesburg and Cape Town. Step 2. Open an Aliyah file. In general, the entire Aliyah process can take about 6 months to a year. It's not a matter of just signing a form and jumping on a plane. Once you've decided to start the process, you'll need to open an Aliyah file. You do this by calling the Global Center of the Jewish Agency in Israel via the toll-free number from South Africa, 0800 996 886. One of the Aliyah experts will guide you through the process, open your online file, and explain what documentation will be required. Once the file has been created, they'll send you a link with a password to access your file. All the necessary documentation must be uploaded into your file before we can proceed. Step 3. Collect, prepare, and upload the documents. This is by far the most time-consuming part of your Aliyah process, and it will take as long as it takes for you to gather all the necessary paperwork. Remember, the Israel Center does not deal with the collection of your documentation. We also don't handle your South African admin. Please note that some of your original documents need to be apostilled by the High Court. And don't forget to pay for your file and send us a proof of payment. When your file is complete, the Global Center will let us know that you're ready for the next step. Please note, we will not be able to conduct the interview if your online file is incomplete or payment is outstanding. Step 4. The interview. The interview will take place with one of our Aliyah consultants. It takes about an hour, and you will need to bring your original documents with you. You also need to have an Aliyah plan that outlines where you want to live in Israel and what your plans will be for the first year. We will ask you questions about your background, health, family history, studies, work experience, and so on. This is also your opportunity to ask us questions. After your interview, your file will be sent off for final approval. Please be patient. It can take time. You may need to provide additional documentation and could be asked more questions for clarification. Please note, unfortunately, not everyone who applies will get approval. Step 5. Your OLEH visa. Once you're approved, you'll need to take your passports, pictures, and visa application forms to the Israeli Embassy in Pretoria. This takes about 2 weeks. If you already have an Israeli passport, you can skip this stage. Once you have received your OLEH visa, that's it. Your new life in Israel can begin. Step 6. Book your Aliyah flight. When you are ready to leave, please contact your Aliyah rep at the Israel Center to confirm your preferred Aliyah date. The flight will be booked depending on availability. You'll then have a final meeting with the Israel Center. And Telfed will also be in touch to help with your integration. Remember, Your Aliyah visa will only be valid for 6 months, so make sure your flight is within that time frame. Step 7. Arriving in Israel. When you land at the airport, you'll meet government representatives who will give you your Israeli ID, sign you up for your preferred medical aid, and hand over your Teudat OLEH, a SIM card, some cash, and a voucher for a taxi to take you to your first address in Israel. Please make sure to have all your original documents in your hand luggage when you land, or else you will not be processed. Step 8. Life in Israel. While life in Israel is dynamic, exciting, and filled with potential, it is also challenging. That's why the Israeli government offers new OLEM a range of benefits and incentives to help you get started. Remember, Israel is a country that rewards initiative, so seize the day and make it happen. For more information about making Aliyah, please give us a call, drop us an email, or visit our website. We are committed to supporting you throughout your Aliyah journey. The Israel Center and Jewish Agency, building bridges between South Africa and Israel.